So this what I don't understand. How does a non-Pacoima guy knows what a guy from Pacoima does in Pacoima?
So Spider looks at me because we go back to the juvenile side of the county.
What the? You are now in the Black Box. Whoa. With Spider Loke, Most Easty, a.k.a. BJ Keyway, and the Google Gang. Let's go!
Listen. Cheetah. Gratitude is the attitude. Show is a blessing. To be back in the Black Box. Black Box.
Relax, roll up as we randomly react to content in these YouTube streets. Yeah. It's time for R&R.
Nightwood Net Hustle. Big shout out to my SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the Black Box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
3 G's, 7 C's, navigate it with ease. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button, please. It might be a new one. Oh, my mama. Y'all see the title? Nightwood, siete. Since Ho No Honey want to lie and say his name start with a K. With no further ado, let's see what Mr. BK from 5'7", the guy not for Pacoima, with no further ado, has been up to. Oh, my mama.
Emotions flow heavy as family of 17-year-old Kevin Cleveland try to make sense of the tragedy.
He's only 17 years old. That's a baby. He ain't even got to live his life yet.
People have already started leaving candles here to honor the victims. We don't know the names of the two other victims. Suspect, of course, still on the loose, believed to possibly be in his 20s. And as for the motive, that is something that the police are still investigating.
I don't understand it. I just don't. What can you possibly get from taking somebody else's kid from their mama?
In today's video, we're going to be talking about BK7 from the Rolling 50s. We're going to break down how he would be accused of murdering somebody and wounding 2 others on the same exact day that his friend would be shot. But let's dive right into it. This story is about to get deep, but to understand this story, we're going to have to start off right here with this picture. And as you can see, this would be BK7 and his uncle. BK7 would be to the right and his uncle would be to the left. And his uncle's name would be 50 Bang. And on December 10th of 2016, 50 Bang, aka Tyrone Davis, would be shot and killed on the 1700 block of West 58th Street. The shooting happened at 6:30 at night, and Tyrone Davis, aka 50 Bang, and a friend were walking from the Slauson Supermall. That's when a vehicle would pull up on the side of them, and they would exchange words. A few people would then jump out the vehicle and open fire on 50 Bang and his friend. And both 50 Bang and his friend would be hit, but 50 Bang would die on the scene, and his friend would survive. And police would believe that this exchange was between the Brims and the 5'5s and the 5'7s. Because before the shots were fired, they would exchange gang slogans. No arrest would be made in that case, but 4 months after the murder of 50 Bang, on April 4th of 2017, somebody named Cody McCoy, aka D5, who was also a member of the Rolling 50s, would be shot. And he would be grazed in the ankle during a drive-by shooting that happened on 56th Street. Police ended up collecting surveillance video from the area, and they would see a gold Lexus following a black sedan. And a few hours after that shooting, there would be a triple shooting up the street on East 60th Street and Vermont Avenue, where Kevin Cleveland, who was 17 years old, ended up being shot and killed. He was walking with a few other people, and a 15-year-old boy and 17-year-old girl would also be shot. This would happen around 3:45 in the afternoon, right after school, and witnesses would report about 10 gunshots being let off. One witness would tell police that the shooter came out of the alleyway next to Alba Snacks and walked towards the group. He would tell police that the shooter walked towards them with his hand in his pocket and was smiling. And according to that same witness, the shooter would ask them where they were from. That's when a female would respond and say that she was from Brims. That's when the shooter would open fire on the group, and he would hit Kevin Cleveland and 2 others, including the girl that just said she was from Brims. He would then say that he ran towards the alleyway to avoid being shot, and while doing that, he would see a gold car pulling out of the alleyway. And the other two people that were shot were Kiara Harris and Damon Lafayette. And they would pretty much say the same thing, that the shooter walked up and asked where they were from, and Kiara Harris would respond and say that she was from Brims, and that's when they would open fire on the group. Damon Lafayette was shot in the leg, and Kiara Harris was shot in the shoulder. But either way, that shopping plaza on the corner had a bunch of cameras, and they would capture the shooting. The quality of the shooting wasn't good, but it was good enough to capture that it was a gold Lexus that the shooter jumped into. And don't forget that they were looking for a gold Lexus from the shooting earlier. This right here would be the alleyway that they were talking about, and the shooter would walk towards here. And as you can see right there on the top right, the store would say Alba, and that's the store that he walked up to. And then he would confront the group right over here. He would then open fire and then run back to the vehicle that was parked in the alleyway right here, and then they would take off out the alleyway. In both the shooting that happened earlier in that day and the shooting that happened on the corner of Vermont and 60th Street would be 4 minutes apart. 2 months would go by, but then they would get a tip in June that somebody named Raven Hall drove a gold Lexus. This would be her and C-Mac together, and police would learn that she was 19 years old and she was an associate of the 50s. They would then bring her into questioning, but they wouldn't mention anything about the murder. They would first ask her about the shooting that took place earlier in that day when McCoy got shot in the ankle, and she would tell police that D5 and BK7 were in the front yard and a vehicle would drive by, and that's when they decided to throw up gang signs to the vehicle, and the vehicle would stop and somebody jumped out and opened fire on them. She would then tell police that she was sitting in her gold Lexus when the shooting happened, and she would witness the shooting, and she was sitting in the vehicle with 2 other people, and after the other vehicle got done shooting, her and the 2 other people would follow the vehicle, and that's the video that they would see of the gold Lexus following the black sedan. She would also tell police that others were also following the vehicle, so she decided to turn around and go back to where the shooting happened. But on the way back to McCoy's house, she would pick up somebody named Noshi Hughes, who was from the Rolling 30s. And now with police knowing that that was her gold Lexus that they were looking for, they would then give her the news that they knew that the gold Lexus was involved in a murder that same exact day also. She would then tell police that BK7 would ask her for a ride. She would tell police that he never told her where, he was just giving her directions on how to get there. But in the vehicle it would be BK7, D5 who was just grazed in the ankle, Noshi Hughes from Rolling 30s who was the female, and then it would be Raven Hall who was the other female. They would then drive by 60th in Vermont, and Noshi Hughes who was the female from Rolling 30s would see a female standing out there, and she would ask BK7, "Yo, you see her?" That's when BK7 would look, and he would see the female, and he would tell Raven Hall to pull over. He would then tell her to pull into the alleyway, and then he would jump out the vehicle and walk towards the group. And
That means she told all these details. I know it happened with dudes, but it just seems so predictable with females.
while BK7 was walking to the group, Noshi Hughes, who was the girl from Rolling 30s, would tell everybody in the vehicle that the girl she pointed out was involved in the murder of Tyrone Davis, who was 50 Bang, aka BK7's uncle. And the female that she pointed out was Kiara Harris, the one who would say she was from Brim when he asked. BK7 would then run back to the vehicle and jump in the back seat. And Raven Hall would tell police that she seen a pistol and heard the shots. And when he got back in the vehicle, he would tell everybody in the vehicle that he had to do it because the girl set his uncle up and he was sorry. And even with her giving up all that information, they would still book her and she would be arrested on June 1st of 2017. And she would be hit with 1 count of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, and 1 count of possession of a firearm by a felon. And like we said, even though she gave up a bunch of information and a bunch of names, nobody else would be booked until a whole year later. On September 29th of 2018, that's when BK7 would be arrested. And he would also be charged with 1 count of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, 1 count of robbery, and 1 count of possession of a firearm. But that robbery count that you see right there was a pending case that he was fighting. And don't forget, at this time BK7 was 16. And even though it was 4 people in the vehicle, only them 2 would be arrested for it. They would both have to sit in the county jail and fight this case, but 1 month before BK7 would start trial, Raven Hall would take a plea deal, and she would have everything reduced to a voluntary manslaughter, but she would have to wait to be sentenced. But 1 month after she took that plea deal, on September 25th of 2019, BK7 would start his trial. And like we said, he would have the 3 witnesses on the scene, including the 2 that he shot, giving the police statements. But while they were on the stand, they would all say that they could not identify him as the shooter. And Kiara Harris, who allegedly set up his uncle, would take the stand. And she would say she didn't remember telling police that someone said they're from Westside Brims. And she would also say that she was not a Brim and didn't associate with them, and she wasn't even staying in the group. But after the shooting, she told police a different story. But while she was on the stand, she said she could not identify BK7 as the shooter either. And don't forget that every witness...
Do that cleanup telling when you get on the stand and try to flip it back? It seemed like Lil Woody got a pass from the public for that, but the public don't really count. I'm asking those that, you know what I mean. Let me know if y'all happen to be in the comments. I know there don't really be many of us in the comments.
is alleging that Kiara Harris is the one that said she was from Westside Brims. And there would also be another witness that seen the whole thing. And he would say that he was taking out the trash in the alleyway. And he would see the gold 4-door sedan. And he would see a man get out and walk towards the group. And then he would hear shots. And that same man would run back to the vehicle. And he would see the vehicle speed off. But he would also say that he could not identify BK7 as the shooter. So all of the witnesses would say they couldn't identify him as the shooter. So at this time, all they really had was statements from Raven Hall, who was a co-conspirator. But little did BK7 know that LAPD obtained search warrants for Snapchat and Facebook for him, Raven Hall, and Kevin Cleveland, who was the person that passed away. And they would say in December of 2016, he would mention the murder of his uncle, who would be Tyrone Davis, aka 50 Bang. Then during April 4th to April 7th of 2017, on Facebook, he would refer to his uncle and to somebody named...
This new generation of gangbanging is crazy. Remember in my day, it used to be all the police know, hey, they were standing out here and it went down. All this backstory and details didn't even exist. Oh, my mama, that's crazy.
Fat Strap, who was a nickname for Kevin Cleveland, who was the victim. And they would even say that in the late afternoon of April 4th of 2017, which was the day of Kevin Cleveland's murder, BK7 would post on Facebook, "Long live 50 Bang." And then shortly after, he would post again. And this time he would put, "I'm the sickest 16-year-old ever. Doubt me if you want." In 20 minutes after that, they would say he sent a message to somebody saying F fat boy and the female, which police are alleging that he was talking about Kevin Cleveland and Kiara Harris. And on April 6th, he would be talking to somebody else, and he would say, "He's gone, and it was easy." And in the early morning of April 7th of 2017, which would be the day after he sent that message, he would send somebody a photograph over Snapchat. In the photo was a drawing of an overweight body with 3 gunshots in it, which was the number of times that Cleveland had been shot. And the name Fat Strap was crossed out at the top of the message. But on October 7th of 2019, he would be convicted by the jury, and he would be found guilty for the murder and the 2 attempted murders. But for the robbery and possession of a firearm, he took a plea deal a few months earlier. But like we said, those 2 counts were unrelated to the murder. And for count 1, he would get 50 years to life. Count 2, he would get 40 years to life. Count 3, same thing, 40 years to life. And then for the robbery, he would get 3 years, but they would enhance it to make it 13. And for possession of a firearm, he would get 20 months. They would give him 8 months for the actual crime, and then 12 months for enhancements. And he would have to run all that consecutive for a total of 144 years to life. As you can see, they would give him 130 years to life, plus the 14 years for the other case. And even though Raven Hall took her plea deal first, she would be sentenced after him, and she would be sentenced on December 4th of 2019, a month after. And she would get a total of 21 years, 11 years for the actual crime, and then 10 years for gang enhancements. But that right there would be the story of BK7 from the rolling 50s. And I'm sending my condolences to the family of Kevin Cleveland and Tyrone Davis, and may they both rest in peace. But that's gonna wrap it up for this video, and I appreciate y'all. Comment, like, and subscribe. It's Respectable Rants.
Active, don't play no games, we get cracking. We ball, we be shooting and passing, nigga. We stand tall like what's happening, nigga. We don't never do no lacking, nigga. What's happening, nigga? Active, don't play no games, we get cracking. We ball, we be shooting and passing, nigga. We stand tall like what's happening, nigga. We don't never do no lacking, nigga. What's happening, nigga? It ain't no I in the word team, we got us. It ain't too much, but I promise it's gonna be enough. Knock 'em down like duck hunt. Niggas know what time we on, or you a fly ass nigga? Well, it's the no fly zone. I used to care about that bitch until she did me wrong. Ain't had a nigga like me, bitch. I was your backbone. A gang of bitches in my contacts, I'm back on. Mafia alone, Mafia strong. I put the max on, we still steppin'. Mafia love to all the troops, and we still reppin'. Nigga, blame it on my roots, no question. So if you need me, I'ma pull through. And if I had to call the game, then niggas pulling up too. Riders like Infant G and Tiny MD. Big Dub, Tiny Dub, and can't forget Big G. Baby G, Big Slim, always chunkin', Big M's. Lil Mac down my bro, can't forget about him. Active, don't play no games, we get cracking. We ball, we be shooting and passing, nigga. We stand tall like what's happening, nigga. We don't never do no lacking, nigga. What's happening, nigga? Active, don't play no games, we get cracking. We ball, we be shooting and passing, nigga. We stand tall like what's happening, nigga. We don't never do no lacking, nigga. What's happening, I'm a man of my word, ain't going back and forth with none of you nerds. Been on them blocks, hanging out on them curbs. This shit ain't new to me. Bang like Shaq in the paint. What they gon' do with me? These niggas try their hardest to rap. I do this shit with ease, raised by G's, like Rooster and Uncle Freeze. I was like 15, shooting dice on my knees off the porch. Hanging with bangers, fuck playing sports. But shit, we full court pressing, get them off the court. Stand up nigga, squabble and I blam triggers. Gotta prove shit to none of you niggas on my soul. I'm hands on. The homies whipped him, he was in the wrong. Shoot at us, we shoot back, I call that ping pong. Mafia strong, I can't tell you when this shit gon' end. But for the moment in time being, I'm all in, shoot 10. The homies know I'm down to hang with him, bang with him, and ain't gon' change. I'm that same nigga. Active, don't play no games, we get cracking. We ball, we be shooting and passing, nigga. We stand tall like what's happening, nigga. We don't never do no lacking, nigga. What's happening, nigga? Active, don't play no games, we get cracking. We ball, we be shooting and passing, nigga. We stand tall like what's happening, nigga. We don't never do no lacking, nigga. What's happening, nigga? Yeah, that, we active, nigga. Pretty Tiny Max, yeah, that. Double M gang. A to the A to the A. Yeah, that.
Doing that hustle. Big shout out to my nigga SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.
It's the homie cook-up boss, goddammit, Cub Low. And y'all tuning in to the Wake and Bake Show with goddammit the homeboy Spider Low.
Here with SPI, the realest nigga in LA.
Spider this bitch!
My nigga Spider Low.
Spider Low, nigga.
Spider Low.
Spider Low.
Spider Low.
Spider Low.
Spider Low.
So Spider looks at me because we go back to the juvenile side of the county.
What the fuck?
My nigga.
Spider Low.
Spider Low. Shout out to SPI, that motherfucking nigga.
Spider Low, Wake and Bake. Better keep it Google, nigga.
Loke is in LA somewhere doing what he's doing.
In the words of Spider Loke on my mama's mama.
Spider Loke's gear. This is Bay Mac.
Nate Blood, C-Mac. Shout out my Loke, Spider Loke, huh? Nate Blood on Hood. It's a beautiful world. You fight me? Fight, craig.
Point blank, through no subliminal dissing. When I listen, I can tell you never been on no mission. Sticking to the script, don't care if I offend you. Neighborhood crib, the marathon
I overlook my competition, never seeing them. I done trained my mind that I'm going. You could tell by how I walk, talk, I'm a boss. A east side millionaire, homie, what you thought? My life is a movie. They can't get close to me. They mad cause they can't be. I'm everything that they wanna be, yeah.
You are now in the black box. Whoa. With Spider Loke, Most Easty, aka BJ Keyway, and the Google Gang.
Let's go!
Okay, you still up in this thing, real Google Gang. Since that's the case, hit that video on your screen. YouTube said that's right up your alley. Oh, my mama.